really low wall cloud, and I am literally, I don't know, can you see my dot?
Are you gonna have any of your cams live or no?
I only have one phone on me, dude. I have my dash cam rolling right now, though.
Okay.
Joel, this thing is low. I've never seen a wall cloud this low.
So July 19, 2025 was a rather interesting day, just more based on how of a surprise event it was. This day was a slight risk day. There was kind of a lot of uncertainty on how storms would evolve during the day. And we had, some supercells that tried to get going in northern Indiana as the day went on. We really weren't seeing anything in Michigan that was anything too concerning. But then we had a few storms starting to pop up across West Michigan. We had one cell that was in Middleville, Michigan, that had reports of a low wall cloud. Then another cell in Grand Ledge had a low wall cloud. So we were kind of starting to see a trend as the day went along. And as it started to happen, one cell popped up just outside of Jenison, Michigan, just to the west. And I kind of noticed it in my hometown in Jenison. When I was looking at the storm, I started to see a lot more lightning. The storm was definitely intensifying. And when I looked at radar velocity, I saw this little tiny kind of notch-like feature. It was very weak and very broad in nature. And, I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, what are the chances it actually strengthens? And it did just that pretty rapidly, too. The next scan it continued to amplify, and I thought, hey, I might as well check out this cell. And I knew that day we were very, very humid. Dew points were in the low 70s. Temperatures were pretty low too, and I think the mid to high 70s. So what that basically means is your cloud bases are going to be very low to the ground. And once I left from my house, it was about a 3 to 5 minute drive, and all of a sudden I got out of the rain and saw this massive rotating wall cloud that was right in front of me. And things only continued to escalate from there because the rotation just continued to amplify. A severe thunderstorm warning got issued at one point, and that cell just continued to get stronger and stronger as it moved through downtown Allendale and nearby the Grand Valley State University campus itself. I actually drove through it and saw a little bit of a funnel-like feature that was present with that wall cloud, and I was able to keep up with it for a little bit off to the northeast, and it only continued to move, and basically the rotation continued to be present for multiple scans, and it continued to move off to the northeast.
It has to be right here. Yep, that's it, right there. Yep, go ahead, dude. That is it. That's the wall cloud. Oh, all right. It's coming up right here. Holy smokes. This is it.
Yeah, I got a video from Drew from that area of rotation, and it's definitely rotating at the almost surface level, but it's getting there's a lot of moisture out there today, so there's a lot of scud that's getting sucked up within the updraft of that storm. And as it gets sucked up, it's very slowly rotating, so it kind of looks like it's a tornado, but it's so slow that it's not really ground circulation. So it's close, but it's just not there yet.
soaked.
So after the cell moved out of Allendale, it became a little bit more broad, but kind of a little bit wider in terms of the area rotation. It went from a little tight area to a little bit more of a broader region. But there was still a well-defined wall cloud present with that cell, basically, as it continued to move off to the northeast, and you could start to see a hook-like feature on that cell. And once I went northeast, I found a nice open field, and I saw the direct area of interest, and I could see several areas of just rising scud-like features that were starting to be present right where the funnel would be at place. And it wasn't very rapid. It was very slow at first, but it continued to become more and more impressive as it got closer to my location. And it literally probably was about a half mile away from my location. And once I looked back at my dash cam footage, you could see the cinnamon bun and all the RFD cut like features based on that supercell that moved through. And once it left my location, then it continued to weaken off. So definitely a very interesting chase. It was very close to producing a tornado. But in the end, there just wasn't enough storm relative helicity near the surface for anything to fully reach to the ground. So definitely a very interesting day. Definitely really close to home, and overall just something to be mindful about is to never kind of ignore low risk days. They can produce tornadoes, and today was one of those days where it became extremely close, and really the main reason why it didn't happen was just because we lacked that storm relative helicity near the closest kilometer to the surface overall.